And good afternoon, everyone. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. My name is Jim, and this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. This is a directed network, and I am net control. This net is all about ham radio and being all that you can be. That's what our Qso-Vlog network is all about, trying to help people achieve the best sounding station possible. Thanks for dropping by. FYI, my background is 50 years in commercial broadcasting, where a lot of big bucks are spent on audio processing equipment and getting it set up correctly to get the loudest, best-sounding station possible. Well, long story short, when I became a ham radio operator, I could hear immediately a large discrepancy in on-air technical proficiency. A lot of stations were running with very poor mic equalization, very muddy, with little articulation. And as I continued to work stations, I realized most of the stations were also running very low average peak modulation, many around 30% of average peak modulation. So with my background, I felt I could help, or at least try. I knew that most modern-day ham transceivers did have enough onboard processing equipment to be able to overcome most all of the problems. So it would just be a matter of developing a generic dynamic range setup procedure and then adjusting the onboard EQ gear. And so I started the Qso-Vlog network with the phrase, if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. And today we're currently featuring over 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. And you can access these recordings by going to YouTube and doing a call letter search for KC9VKV followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word logbook. We also have a new feature called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. That's KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. Both KC9VKV Logbook and KC9VKV Highlights are segments of our main YouTube homepage of Jim's Radio Story, where we celebrate a 50-year career in commercial broadcasting. A 50-year journey from a 5-watt pirate radio station as a 12-year-old to production director of a major 50,000-watt AM broadcast facility. And the thing that makes this truly a unique story is that I have the actual audio masters from all along the way. Over 2,600 shows, including many full-length major music concerts and radio productions. You'll have to check it out and subscribe. Jim's Radio Story on a YouTube search. Our mission statement for the Qso-Vlog network is to establish a higher technical level of radio transmissions of the human voice by the intelligent utilization of available electronics and current amateur radio transceivers. Our setup, while generic in nature, converts the average 10 dB dynamic range transmitter with an average 30% of peak modulation to a much fuller 3 dB dynamic range with an average 80 to 85% of peak modulation. This substantial boost in audio transmit level is extremely beneficial in high noise levels and heavy QRM. It allows you to punch through when others fail. The second part of our transmitter setup has to do with proper mic equalization. We're looking to optimize the transmitted voice for a higher degree of intelligibility through the use of EQ patterns that bring out the articulation aspects of the human voice. Again, why need to hear the voice if you can't understand the words? Also this afternoon on the receive side, we're running 4 Internet SDR receivers, monitoring New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Virginia, trying to get the best copy from our 100-watt friends. Also today on the transmit side, we'll be running our no SWR, specially oriented resonant dipole antenna. One leg of this resonant dipole runs broadside to Montreal, Canada. The other leg runs broadside to Miami, Florida. As we were constructing our station, our mantra was 20 over from Montreal to Miami with a hotspot through the Carolinas. And although conditions may vary, the general performance of this antenna supports its mission. Also today, we'll be running our input source indicator. So when we switch from an Internet SDR receiver to our local receiver, you'll be able to hear the switch and see the switch. You'll have to check it out on our YouTube Qso-Vlog video. And as we come together for another Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network, let us pause just a moment for the amateur radio operator's prayer. Lord, we pray for clear 20 over S9 communications today. Let all our transmissions fill the air and reach their destinations QSA5 to be understood by all. And as we pray for good radio conditions, let us also pray for good human conditions. And also, Lord, we seek your divine intervention to bring peace to a very divided United States. As we go through a very conflicting time in America's history, with dark clouds all around, we pray that you will reduce life's daily political QRM between our brothers and sisters, and through your love and guidance, show us the way to find peace and harmony. Help us to communicate with one another 20 over S9. Thank you, Lord, and God bless and protect America. Amen. To continue, since this part of the band has many nets trying to operate in a very confined area, I would appreciate all stations checking into our Qso-Vlog net to keep their bandpass to no wider than 100 to 2900. And now let's check in and see if Charlie, K1GZL, is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up north in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy? Yes, Jim, very Q5. There's a lot of static, a lot of Queen Roger Nancy, but you're very, very clear. And I hope you're copying my signal as well. K1GZL, go ahead.
Roger, Charlie, I have you 25 over on Milford SDR.
Roger, Charlie, I have you 25 over on Milford SDR. Okay, Roger. I don't have very much from Captain Mike this week. I do have a fairly recent, though, recording. Just a little bit of it. Here it is, I hope. We're in Charlie. Charlie's trying to find a sound here. There's not much below us here. So I'll stand by here just a minute and see if I can find a major city where I can tell you where we're at. But I can tell you right now we're looks like right now 65 miles northwest of Madison, Wisconsin. It's 36 south. It's 1,400 miles to go. So we're moving along here at about 450 knots. So good smooth day getting up here. K1GZL, KF4 with you, Charlie. You're 59 plus. Okay, Roger, and there he is at 36,000 feet. Oh boy. I wouldn't want to be exposed to temperatures like that. We were supposed today to get some pretty active weather. So far it has not shown up. Here it is at 22 minutes to 4. 22 minutes to 4 on the 26th of August, and it's 6 feet, 3 degrees, 3 degrees, mostly cloudy, but the sun is shining through. However, there is a lot of activity just to our west, and when that gets here, it's going to be pretty exciting here in the next hour or two. So we're going to do that. We've had a little over 8 inches of rain for the month of August, and normally for the whole month is 4 inches. 4 inches, so it's a little bit little on the wet side. In fact, for the whole summer, we've averaged a little bit more precipitation than usual. However, in central and southern New England, it has been very dry. It has been very dry with some isolated getting pretty hard by quick storms. It all depends exactly where you are. Back to you, Jim. I won't hold it any longer. You probably have a lot of stations that are waiting to use your expertise and trying to improve their rigs, of course. And we'll try to see you next Friday. KX4 WC K1GZL, if you copy.
Roger, Charlie. Well, gosh, I'm just curious about the weather that you're having. Is that more to your liking? The temperatures that you're running now up that way?
Is that more to your liking? The temperatures that you're running now up that way? Oh, yeah, right. The normal high now is 68 degrees, and that is normal for this date. And it's been a very good summer. We've had a few very warm, humid days, but we've had nothing from above 87. However, we are up at 2,030 feet above sea level, right here on the Quebec border in northern New Hampshire. However, lower down, there's down sloping where you get compression. In other words, when air comes down a mountain, it compresses, and that gives extra temperature. And Boston has been up to 100 degrees, 2 or 3 days up at 98. And we've had none of that. We've had that none of that, and we just don't usually up here. But due to the fact that we've had a normal to above normal rainfall for the whole summer, it looks like the fall foliage up here is going to be excellent. Is going to be very, very good this year, and by 4 or 5 weeks from now, the fall colors will certainly be in evidence. KC9VKV, K1GZL, getting ready for winter.
Roger, Charlie. Well, I was just wondering now, you're talking about that weather moving down the slope, down the hill, making it colder, compressing it. Why would it not make it warmer than going on the cold side?
Not make it warmer than going on the cold side.
No. When it goes downhill, it does warm up. They call that out in Colorado. They call that a Chinook. Like you take Denver, Colorado, that's about 5,000 feet above sea level. And once the storms or whatever hit Denver, the temperature rises quite often because the mountains to the west of Denver are higher, and downhill comes the air and compresses and adds extra warmth to the air. So that is downsloping. It's called downsloping, and the valleys around here get downsloped and get a little bit extra warming. You take when there's a heat wave in Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, a lot of that is extra. There are extra degrees added because it is downsloped, because the hills and mountains to the west of those cities are being higher up. The air comes down and warms up at about 5 degrees per 1,000 feet. Each 1,000 feet it drops. So that is downhill compression. However, where I get a lot of my snow in the winter is upslope. When the air hits the mountains to the west and northwest of me, it is forced upward. And in doing so, it drops the temperature. And if the air is saturated to start with, I mean it's 100% loaded with moisture, it squeezes it out, and that's called orographic upslope lift. And when you have that condition, you get extra conditions, and that's one reason we average 195 inches a year of snow, is because we get a lot of this upslope condition. But downslope, things dry out, and snow showers lessen, and people on the downward side of the mountains, they lose out on the upslope. They don't get it. Jim, go ahead.
Roger, Roger. All right. Well, I'm glad that you like the weather that you got. I think everybody should be living in the area and getting the temperatures that they prefer. 73, Charlie. Thanks for dropping by, and as always, Roger, Roger.
73, Charlie. Thanks for dropping by, and as always, Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger, certainly on that, Jim, and I certainly hope to catch you next Friday. Excuse my voice, it just started to go out on me, which is ridiculous. 73, have a good week, stay healthy, and have great radio communication and help to our fellow amateurs that you do provide. KC9VKV, K1GZL, Clarksville, far northern New Hampshire, we are clear. Always a pleasure, Jim.
Roger, Roger, Charlie, 73 out that way, sir. And just a reminder, this is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to our YouTube Qso-Vlog page, where we're currently featuring over 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. This recording will be cut number 1 in that series. And we also have a new series called KC9VKV Highlights. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word highlights on a YouTube search. These are some of our less technical and more human nature philosophical kinds of QSOs. You'll have to check it out. KC9VKV Highlights on a YouTube search. All right, without further ado, let's open it up. If you have a radio that you want to check out, give me a shout.
100 watts, that's all. A very challenging afternoon on 40 meters, but it's just 100 watts, and that is nothing but halfway, 71 foot in length. Takeoff part is 15 foot above ground, and it rises in the slope to a level of about 50 feet above the ground. It's in my walnut tree, the black walnut tree, so if my signal sounds a bit nutty, it's because of the walnut tree. Any copy, Jim? WA3JR.
Roger, Roger. WA3JR. Coming from that nutty tree, your long wire is in a nutty tree. Is that a Roger?
Yes, it's in a black walnut tree, and that's why I sound nutty. That's why I sound nutty, Jim. You don't have to QSL that, but I know it to be true. Over.
Yeah, Roger. All right. JR, what's the name there?
My name is Joe, and I've made contact with you over the years on 3 occasions, once in 2018, once in 2020, and last year, December. However, that was with Alpha 3 Charlie Foxtrot X-ray. I had that call sign of this year. I gave it up for a vanity call, and that's what you hear now. Whiskey America 3, Juliet Romeo. I'm operating a Kenwood CS830S and a Shure microphone SM58. I'm just wondering, do I sound like do I sound as if I'm talking through a tunnel? When I listen to my own self through the Milford, Pennsylvania SDR receiver, it's as if I'm talking through a vacuum cleaner hose. So tell me, what's your critique, Jim? Over.
Well, I use Milford quite extensively, and I think the thing is that you may be listening to it simultaneously as you speak. And the problem is that there is always a latency coming back from the internet SDRs. So, sometimes it's like 4 seconds. And if you're listening on a pair of earphones to that as you're trying to speak, it becomes very difficult. I've not found anybody that can concentrate good enough to continue to speak as they're getting a 4-second delay of their voice coming back into their earphones. It just is terribly confusing. But anyway, Joe, what is your location? Where are you, sir?
I'm in North Central Maryland, a very small community called Emmitsburg, Maryland. We're about 12 miles south of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, right on the state line. And, oh, Jim, by the way, yes, I do have the Milford SDR receiver listening right now, so I haven't. Not real-time listen to that with a latency, the delay of like 4 seconds or more. But I just click on the record button and listen afterwards. Anyway, I thought, you know, with the band conditions such as they are today, very challenging here on 40 meters, this would be a test to see if my signal is intelligible. So there you have it. That's what I'm looking for. And if you would have any recommendations, I have an equalizer on this Shure SM58 microphone, and I don't know if increasing the mid-range would get some of the hollow signal, hollow sounding out or not. I just don't know. I leave it to the guru. That's you, Jim. Oh, by the way, I heard Charlie. He was a fabulous signal from New Hampshire, K1GCL. Nice signal. Anyway, back to KC9VKV, WA3JR.
Roger, Joe. You just came up about 15 dB on my local. Let's see. I'm on my local. I have 3 local 10-foot vertical magnetic loops, and I have them arranged at 0 degrees, 90 degrees, and 134 degrees, and I use them as a scanner. So I just with a rotary switch run through them. I used to think I could use them as one as a rotor, but it's just too slow. So I've got 3, and they're spaced, like I say, at 0 degrees, 90 degrees, and 134 degrees. And you're coming in on the 134 degree 10-foot vertical magnetic loop. So beginning our setup procedure, if you'd be interested, the first thing would be to make sure that you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode. 100 to 2900 bandpass on transmit. Roger?
Well, that I cannot, I don't know how to adjust that. I don't know how to limit it. I do tell you this much, that the Kenwood TS-830S, as you probably well know, does have a processor in it, though I've turned it off because it's RF processing, it's all RF compression, and I'm just slightly afraid of RF compression because it just clips, and I don't know what happens to the, what other signals it might radiate. So my compression is at the audio level. I am utilizing some compression here at audio level, Jim. Over.
Roger. Okay. Well, make a note to double check to make sure what that transmitter is in your bandpass. We ideally recommend 100 to 2900. So just make a note of that to check, and if you can adjust it to 100 to 2900 in the transmit bandpass, go ahead and do that. So the beginning of our setup procedure is compressor on, and add a 3. Just a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just a third of the capabilities of that compressor. Something you'll never hear on the air, but our setup does start with the compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending. Roger?
Roger. And I have done that in the past when I was utilizing the processor built into the Kenwood. I would only put it at 30% of a full scale. However, right now I have it turned completely off. No RF processing whatsoever, Jim. Over.
All right. Well, we may be having a little bit more difficulty in reaching our goal, which is a 3 dB dynamic range. But let's proceed on then. Move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word, audio, say it, but don't stress it. Just say it as you would say any other word in a QSO. And be looking at your ALC meter as you say it, and with your mic gain, adjust that ALC meter to read mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger. Let's see here. Okay. Audio. Let's see. I have absolutely no ALC deflection from the transceiver itself because I have the processor turned on, no RF compression. However, with my compressor here in the equalizer, little peripheral device that I have here in line between the Shure microphone and the transceiver, I'm going to cut back the compression. I have it now. I'm cutting it back to 20 decibel. I had it at 35. So I've cut back the compression. Any improvement there, Jim? Over.
Well, you could tell me by your ALC. We need that ALC to be running mid-scale to 2/3. That's the critical adjustment there. You can't. The ideal sweet spot is midway between mid-scale and 2/3, but you can't just camp there. So we just say, if you can get that ALC reading towards, just over mid-scale, that would be fine. And the word is audio, and you adjust with your mic gain. Roger?
Roger. Well, let me turn my processor on. And I'll turn it up, as I've just done now. It's about 1/3 of full level there on the transceiver. I still do not see any ALC deflection, however. I'm sure that it is. How copy?
Roger, I might be a little bit too much. Now, is your mic gain marked off? Can you tell me don't do anything right yet, but tell me what your mic gain is setting at right now.
I have it at about 50% of full scale.
Your mic gain, is that a Roger?
Roger.
All right, well, pull it down to, if it was like at 50, then pull it down to about a 40, and let me hear you.
Okay, audio at 50, audio at 50, audio at 40, audio at 40.
You kind of faded out just a little bit. I'm not sure whether it was Mother Nature or you. Come back and talk to me just for a minute.
Roger. Well, I'm still at audio 40, and if the QSB maker gods will cooperate with us, audio 40. This is audio 50, audio 50, audio 50, and back to audio 50, 40, audio 40.
Roger, take it up to 50 because you moved up about 20 decibels in signal. So, you definitely was low at 40. So come up to 50 and let me hear you.
Okay, this is audio 50, audio 50, audio 50. From best that I could tell, this was probably what I thought perhaps was best. But what I need your expertise, Jim, I'm curious about the equalizer itself. The various components. I have a 10 frequency equalizer here. And how do I get out of sounding like as if I'm talking through a tunnel? Do I increase the mid-range or do I decrease the mid-range?
All right. Well, let me do it this way. I'll tell you this way. Modern-day equalizers are designed for to reach a balance between the top to the mid-range and the bottom to the mid-range. So we want to keep that mid-range flat. We want to keep everything from 500 cycles to 1.5K just flat. Roger.
Roger, and that's how I have it now. From 500, 800, and 1.3K, I have that I have it a little less than flat. I have it at a -2 decibel. However, beginning at 2K, I increased that up to 8 decibel. I want the higher one for whatever intelligibility might be up at the high end. Roger?
Yes, sir. Okay, but we want to keep that mid-range flat. So take those controls from 500 cycles to 1.5K and put them flat. Very important to keep that flat. And then I'm assuming you have an octave equalizer, so it would be 1K, 2K, 4K, 8K. Is that a Roger?
I go up to as high as 4.5K, from 90 to 4.5K.
All right. Do you have anything around 2.7K?
I have a 220 and a 350. And the 220 I have set at plus 2 decibel, and 350 rather, I have that as well at a positive 2 decibel.
All right. I think you could add 2 more at that 3.5 range, plus 2 additional from where you are.
Roger. I've increased the 350 cycle to a 4 decibel, and by the way, I have flattened the 500, 800, and 1.3K absolutely flat.
Roger, Roger. Now, how close are you working your microphone? What I'm saying is that you really, if you get a chance, you should get a windscreen, a foam windscreen for your microphone, because I am hearing some transients there. If you happen to have one, you could slip it on, or do you need to get one?
Oh, I need to get one. Oh, by the way, Jim, while I have you in line, there is something in this equalizer that's called the, there's a noise gate, and I actually have that running right now. I could turn that off. Right now, the noise gate is on. The whole idea was to cut back on the ambient noise in the room here, but I'm going to, purposely, right now, it's turned off. And in between words, you might hear ambient noise. Did you notice any increase?
I don't have that good a signal on you. You're giving me about 8 dB above my noise level, and to be able to hear that subtlety, I would need a cleaner signal to hear that. But if you've been running with it on, I would say go ahead and keep it on. So I'm thinking now that maybe you want to back up maybe 2 inches further off mic, just a little bit, and let me hear you at 2 inches further back on that microphone, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Jim, I've been eating the microphone. I was only 4 inches away from it, but now I'm 6 inches away from it. WA3JR, 6 inches away, Roger.
Roger, I think that's a lot cleaner now, and you need to go back to your mic gain and bring it up a skosh, because you're further back off mic than where you were. So whatever reference on your ALC you were using last, bring your mic gain up now at that further position from microphone to where it was at the same reading as it was on your ALC earlier.
Oh, thank you, Jim. Okay, I'm at the 50% level, and I'm going to increase it. As a matter of fact, that might be a bit much, but I'm at about 60% rather than 50. Any difference there, Jim?
Oh, gosh, you just get louder and louder. and I think that's probably pretty good. Now, why don't you tell me about 10 seconds, and just let me listen to you as you tell me about your antenna system.
Roger, Jim. Thank you very much. You're so kind. You've helped how many people? I've listened to you often enough, and I know this is not about my antenna system, but God bless you. And thank you for the prayer that you began this session with. All I can say is, I'm with you, brother. God bless you. My antenna system, it's not much. It's just an end-fed halfway. And again, I say it's being held up by a black walnut tree. And it imparts a certain character to my QSOs, all of them, and I sound a bit nutty because I'm connected to a walnut tree, a nut tree. How's that, Jim?
Yes, sir. Sounding good. Sounding good. Now, we are recording this, and I do have a spectrum analyzer on set. So, and let me just say a word about that spectrum analyzer. It's got 3 white stripes on it to denote frequencies. The furthest mark to the left denotes 100 cycles. The next mark as you move out to the right is 1 KC, then there's a blank space, and then there's another white mark, and that's 4 KC. So as you, if you check out your video, as you look at the spectrum analyzer, you can see exactly where your audio is falling. Roger?
Oh, Jim, there's a breaker, and he said I'm way over modulating. Breaker, please, your expertise, please, give your report, please. There's someone who said I was over modulating. But now it's quiet. Okay, back to you, Jim.
I see you fine. The thing is, though, and we've established a new proximity to microphone. So you want to stay in that new proximity. If you get closer, obviously you're going to get hotter into your ALC. So, but if you just stay at that new spot, your audio is a lot cleaner in that position. Roger?
Roger. I'm 6 inches away. This is a boom mic. And I do welcome the gentleman who said I was over-modulating. Please, this is important to me, and I do not want to over-modulate. Please, confirm that I'm over-modulating, please. Over.
look good to me. But
Okay, good to you. Okay, God bless you, sir. Jim, I might have been over-modulating because I crept up back to the microphone. So the point well taken, Jim. Thank you. God bless you. Don't eat the microphone, Joe. Stay back 6 inches, and I think we're good to go. Roger, Roger.
exactly right there. That is perfect right there. And I'll tell you what to do. Are you getting a good indication on your ALC meter now?
Well, once again, Jim, I do not have any ALC deflection on my transceiver because I have the processor turned off, so I can't see that. What is that, screen voltage?
No, it's the ALC is reading the output from the limiter. You know, your radio has a limiter. It's the last thing of the audio chain, more or less, and so that meter is reading the output of your limiter. Roger, Roger.
All righty. Well, yeah. Okay, fine. Maybe this is a bad band to operate that. Full disclosure, this is a Kenwood TS-830S. And there is an issue with some of these vintage rigs, such as mine is exhibiting right now, that the ALC deflection, the ALC meter, does not necessarily work on 40 meters. It's because the 40-meter section of the band switch, the gang switch, is way in the back, and I really need to clean those contacts. I don't think I have a good contact in the back, so there's absolutely no ALC deflection. However, when I go to the higher bands, I do see a little bit, just a little bit of deflection. So there you have it, Jim. I need to work on my rig. Why haven't I worked on my rig? At age 74, whenever I pick up a soldering iron, I'm immediately transported to San Francisco to a six Richter scale earthquake. I got the hand tremors. I can't hold a soldering gun, and I just dare not do any troubleshooting on my rigs anymore. Such is it. Well, I've become an appliance operator. I used to be a home brewer. WA3JR.
Roger, Roger. Joe, I'll tell you what, on your EQ, at 200 cycles, crank in -2 from where you are. At 200 cycles, -2 clicks from where you are.
I had been at a +2. Right now I've taken it to a -2. How's that?
I think that's excellent. That's excellent. I'm listening to you on my my local antenna, which is good down to 100 cycles. Most of these SDRs roll out at about 250 or 300 cycles, but my local radio is down to 100 cycles, and I think you sound excellent there. Anyway, if you want to hear your audio again, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 of a series of 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings, and I'll have it posted by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Roger, Roger, and I smile when I say Roger, Roger, because back on December the 3rd of 2021, you and I were in QSO. You were helping me out, and in the course of that, and I got to hear the YouTube later. My antenna came down in a big blast of wind. I don't know if you remember that, but my signal dropped off considerably, and we were able to close out the QSO with my antenna laying on the ground. That was certainly near. That was not near vertical incident. That really was vertical incident propagation. But anyway, yes, I am, and I can't wait to log into your YouTube capture of this QSO. Jim, God bless you. Thank you. I know there's others waiting on the sidelines for your expertise. So with that, God continue to bless you. Your noble soul, so generous with your time and your expertise. KC9VKV, who has helped WA3JR. God bless you, 73, Jim.
Roger, Roger, Joe, 73 up that way, sir, and have yourself a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout. There's something with J in it. Come back slowly, phonetically, with that call sign.
Something with J in it. Come back bit slowly phonetically with that call sign.
Oh, okay, it's Whiskey Bravo 9, Japan, Norway, Zulu. The name is Eric.
One more time. We're getting a little static there. It's WB9JNZ, Roger?
It's WB9JNZ, Roger?
Roger, Roger. Whiskey Bravo 9, Japan, Norway, Zulu, WB9JNZ.
Roger, Roger, JNZ. And what's the name there?
Roger, Roger, JNZ. And what's the name there?
The name is Eric, Echo Radio India Charlie.
Roger, Roger. Eric, is that a Roger?
Roger, Roger. Eric, is that a Roger?
Roger, Roger. Yeah, and I'm running an Electrap K3, a KC9VKV 1500, and it's an off-center dipole, probably up about 20, 30 feet, somewhere around there.
All right, Eric, and where are you located, sir?
All right, Eric, and where are you located, sir?
Oh, I'm located about 60 miles northwest of Chicago, Illinois, in a small town called Woodstock, Illinois.
All right, Eric, if you would, give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system so I can look around and see if I can find us a better path, Roger?
So I can look around and see if I can find us a better path, Roger?
Okay, very good. Yeah, 1500, and I started at about 250. And I'm running an off-center fed dipole up about 28 or so feet. I have a long-sided dipole, so I may be interacting with my other dipole, and it may be a bit directional. And again, I'm located about 60 miles northwest of Chicago, Illinois, in a small town here, KC9VKV, WB9JNZ.
Roger, Roger, Eric. Now, if you're familiar with your radio, first part of our setup is to be sure you're in that wide transmit bandpass mode, 100 to 2900. Are you familiar with that bandpass?
That's how it goes. I'm not sure if I know how to transmit bandwidth on the radio, but the filter is at 28 bandwidth on the radio, but it's a 2800 filter, I believe, QSO.
All right, yeah, maybe check into that later on if you would, to see if your radio can get to 2900. That would be the preferred bandpass. Anyway, our setup starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3, compressor on and at a 3. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it helps us get to our 3 dB dynamic range in the end. So be a compressor on and at a 3. Roger?
In the end, so be a compressor on and add a 3. Roger?
Okay, compressor is on at 3, and I do have some mic gain at about 12 as well. Thank you, Roger.
Roger, okay, with you getting your compressor on and at a 3, let's move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, don't stress it, just say it like a word in EQ so that you might do. And with mic gain in hand, adjust your ALC to read mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain control. Roger?
To read mid-scale to 2/3 by way of mic gain control. Roger?
Audio, I think it's about there. Audio, how's that?
Yes, sir, that really looks nice. Now, you've got onboard EQ, is that a Roger?
Nice. Now, you've got onboard EQ, is that a Roger?
Roger, Roger. I have the first 3 EQs set up at -16.
Roger, what was the top one?
Roger, what was the top one?
3200 hertz.
Yes, sir, Eric. Okay, so everything from 400 cycles up to 1.6 should be flat, plus or minus 0. Flat from 400 cycles to 1.6K flat. Roger?
400 cycles to 1.6K flat. Roger?
Roger, roger. 1 second, let me set that up. And did you say to 1600 should be flat as well?
Yes, sir. From 400 cycles to 1.6K should be flat.
400 cycles to 1.6K should be flat.
Okay, I've got that set flat.
Alrighty, now let's go up to 2.4 and punch in 2 clicks additional boost from where you are. 2 clicks additional boost at 2.4. Roger?
2 clicks additional boost at 2.4. Roger?
Okay, I'll go to 2.4. 1 second.
Alrighty, now can you see your ALC? Can you leave your ALC up so you can see it?
Yes, I can.
All right, tell me about the best thing you like about your radio, and try to keep your ALC in that sweet spot between mid-scale and 2/3.
Okay, I think Elecraft recommends about 5 bars of ALC, which is right about in the mid-scale, and I think I'm right about there at the moment. It should be there. It looks pretty good at this point, I hope. I don't know what you're seeing on your end, but it looks okay here, at least.
Roger, Eric. Okay, I want you to go to 200 cycles, and I want you to put that at +3 from where it is. 3 clicks additional boost at 200 cycles.
Which is all the way down, and I added 2 clicks boost there, so it's at a -14.
You kind of faded out from my local antenna, which I was using, but I need for you, for your signal to come back up a little bit, because like I say, I would like to be on my local receiver since it is flat down to 100 cycles. Let me come back and give me a little talk about maybe what you like about ham radio in about 10 seconds, and let me see if I can reestablish contact on my local antenna.
Contact on my local antenna.
I think I made a mistake. At 200 hertz to add 2 clicks at 200 hertz. I think wrong button, and they added it at 100 hertz. Can I just readjust? I'll go to 1 second here.
Well, I think that'd probably have to do it for right about now, Eric. I can't really copy you further, but I think you're in a nice, good, safe position where you are, and maybe we get better conditions next Friday, or maybe even later on this afternoon. We go live till 5. So if my conditions get better to you a bunch, then hopefully your conditions will get better to me, and we'll be able to fine-tune this thing in just a little bit more. Roger?
Tune this thing in just a little bit more. Roger?
Oh, okay. I can give you a little more power here if that helps.
Yeah, I just went around the horn again, and I don't have you anywhere, hardly at the moment. You were on Milford fairly well, but those conditions have shifted somewhat. So I think we're in good shape. If you want to hear your audio, if you go to YouTube, do a call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording, and we'll have it posted by noon tomorrow. So YouTube search, KC9VKV logbook. Roger, roger.
Logbook. Roger, roger.
Sorry the conditions are not so good, but that's how it goes at ham radio. Thank you so much, Jim. Appreciate it. KC9VKV, WB9JMZ.
Roger, Roger. Eric 73, sir. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. My name is Jim, and we're live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out, give me a shout.
Had somebody else in there, fairly faint, but we do have some lightning somewhere. I don't know where it's up around Milford or anywhere north of me, I believe. So a station calling, come back, try it again.
Station calling, come back, try it again.
I got November and Zulu. November and Zulu. Come back again, slowly, phonetically, with your call sign, please.
Phonetically, with your call sign, please.
Roger, Roger. November 8, Kilo, Zulu, Charlie. November 8, Kilo, Zulu, Charlie, over.
Kilo, Zulu, Charlie, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Charlie, Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Roger, hello, Jim. This is Chris. Charlie, Hotel, Romeo, India, Sierra, Northwest, Lower Michigan, over.
Roger, Roger, Chris in Michigan. And Chris, what kind of radio are you running, sir?
Chris, what kind of radio are you running, sir?
Jim, I am a brand new Jim. I've been licensed for 3 months. I have Tom 706 Mark II and a part-time air antenna that I just bought this week.
Yeah, I did miss most of that, Chris. Come back again. Let's see if we can figure out what radio you're running there, sir.
Figure out what radio you're running there, sir.
Roger, Jim. ICOM 706 Mark II. ICOM 706 Mark II, over.
ICOM 706 Mark II. Roger, Roger, Chris. Got that, sir. And you're in Michigan. So I've gone around the horn. About the best copy I have is on Milford. I've got you about 3 dB over the Milford noise level. So we'll try to make that work for us. The thing is, we want to be sure that you're in that wide transmit bandpass mode, which would be 100 to 2900. If you're familiar with that and if you're in that, that's great. If not, just make a note to yourself to double check your owner's manual to see how you can get in that 100 to 2900 bandpass, transmit bandpass. Roger?
Bandpass, transmit bandpass. Roger?
Roger, understand 100 to 2900 bandpass. I am not familiar. I have to read my manual, over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's one of those things. What happens though? Sometimes things happen and you get out of that mode. A lot of the older receivers can't even get there. They are 2.4s or 2.6, 2.7s, but the modern day radio will go to 2900 for sure. So just double check that at your leisure. You want that radio to be in the 100 to 2900 bandpass. Transmit bandpass. All right, so the first part of our setup has to do with you engaging your compressor at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, just a third of the compression capabilities. Roger?
The compression capabilities. Roger?
Roger, Roger, Chris. Okay, so once you get your compressor on at a 3, then I want you to move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word, audio, audio. Say it, but don't stress it. Just say it like you would say any other word in a QSO. And we want you to adjust your mic gain until your ALC is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter as you say the magic word audio and adjust with your mic gain.
And adjust with your mic gain.
Yes, sir. And the other thing would be to go to your equalizer and give yourself 2 clicks additional treble EQ. 2 clicks boost treble EQ from where you are. 2 clicks additional treble EQ from where you are on your transmitter equalizer. Roger?
On your transmitter equalizer. Roger?
Yes, sir, Chris. I think that would do it, sir. And then if you get a chance, maybe next Friday, check in and let me hear that and see how we're doing. That should be just beautiful, though, Roger.
Just beautiful, though, Roger.
Understood. I'm very happy that I found you. I found you on 40 meters today. Have not found you on YouTube yet, but I will be here next Friday to talk to you again. Thanks very much for the info.
Roger, Chris. Now, if you want to hear what there is of your signal that I'm listening to, we are recording, so if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It will be cut number 1 in a series of 2,200 Qso-Vlog Aircheck recordings. KC9VKV logbook on a YouTube search. Roger? And we'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
We'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Roger, understood. KC9VKV Victor Kilo Victor. I will do the search tomorrow on YouTube afternoon. Thanks very much for your help. November 8th, over.
Roger, Chris, and be sure to put that KC9VKV logbook. That's the name that you need to put in the search. KC9VKV logbook, and that'll take you to this recording, Roger.
Logbook, and that'll take you to this recording, Roger.
KC9VKV logbook, understand, over.
Yes, sir. That's it. All right, Chris, 73, sir. Thanks for dropping by. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday, and we'll hear what all those numbers sound like. I'm sure they're going to sound just beautiful. 73, Chris. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog Net. My name is Jim, and we're recording now live till 5. So if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
You want to check out, give me a shout.
I think there's a station out there, TMA, come back slowly, phonetically, with your call sign, please.
Phonetically, with your call sign, please. K4CNA in Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Okay.
4 Charlie Mike Alpha.
Is that King 4 Charlie Mike Alpha? Is that a Roger?
Is that King 4 Charlie Mike Alpha? Is that a Roger? That's a Roger. My name is Charlie.
Roger, Charlie. Let me get that in there. And where are you located, Charlie?
And where are you located, Charlie?
I'll be located in Rockingham County of Virginia, state of Virginia.
Roger, Charlie, Virginia. And what radio are you running today, sir?
And what radio are you running today, sir?
I'm running a FP 101 MT.
Is that 101 Mary Charlie?
Is that 101 Mary Charlie?
I'm getting some little interference there, Charlie. Give me that model number of your radio one more time.
Give me that model number of your radio one more time.
The FP DX 101
Mary Paul, is that a Roger?
Mary Paul, is that a Roger?
Mary Paul.
Alrighty, Charlie, if you're interested in our setup, I want you to, if you're familiar with your transmit bandpass, I want you to be in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass, if you know where that is, and if you are in there. Roger, Roger.
Is, and if you are in there. Roger, Roger. Roger, Roger.
All right, so if you're not in that 100 to 2900, make note to double check that later on and see how you can be sure you are in that mode. That will give you the best frequency response possible for your transmitter, 100 to 2900. All right, our normal setup starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Just a third of the compressor is what we're looking for. Compression on, and a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger?
Out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Roger.
That's a Roger.
Alrighty, then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, say it, but don't stress it, just say it like you would any other word in a QSO. I want you to adjust your mic gain until your ALC meter is reading mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter by way of mic gain control.
Your ALC meter by way of mic gain control.
Might take you a couple of times to get that, but just go ahead a couple of more times and be sure you're mid-scale to 2/3. And be aware that the ideal sweet spot is halfway between mid-scale and 2/3, but you just can't camp there. So we want you to go mid-scale to 2/3 on your with mic gain adjustment.
On your with mic gain adjustment.
Hello, Charlie. Is still there?
Hello, Charlie. Is still there?
Charlie, you may have hit your VFO, or I'm not real sure what happened to you. This is KC9VKV.
This is KC9VKV.
Kilo 4, Charlie, Mary, Adam, this is KC9VKV. Are you still there?
KC9VKV, are you still there?
Charlie has been stolen by gypsies. It happens every once in a while. Stolen by gypsies right as we speak. Anyway, Charlie, if you get a chance, drop back by and we'll finish this off. We're pretty close, but if you give me one more chance here before we move on. This is KC9VKV. Charlie, got a copy?
This is KC9VKV. Charlie, got a copy?
Nope, Charlie's stolen by gypsies. All right, so 73 there, Charlie. We'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Kilo Charlie 0 Zulu X-ray Zulu.
Kilo Charlie 0. Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
Come back slowly phonetically with your call sign.
The call is Kilo Charlie 0 Zulu X-ray Zulu QSL.
Zulu X-ray Zulu. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
X-ray Zulu. Roger, Roger. What's the name there?
Name on this end is Mick, Mike India Charlie Kilo. Located in Central Iowa.
Roger, Nick, and you're in Ohio. Is that a Roger?
Roger, Nick, and you're in Ohio. Is that a Roger?
Iowa, India Alpha.
Roger, Iowa. And what radio are you running, Nick?
And what's radio are you running, Nick?
It is Mick, Mike India Charlie Kilo. I'm running the ICOM 7300.
Roger, Roger, Nick. By now, I got my coffee. Yeah, that's what I need. I need another drink of coffee. Yeah. There you go. Right about now, my concentration is well, not as good as it was when we started earlier this afternoon. All right, so you're on a 7300. If you'd be interested in our setup procedure, I want you to double check to be sure you're in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode. If you are, great. If not, just take a note to double check to see how you can get that radio into the 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass mode. Roger?
Transmit bandpass mode, Roger.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll look into that, though.
Yes, sir. Okay, setup procedure starts with you engaging your compressor at a 3 on the 7300. It's a token amount. You'll never hear it on the air, but it helps us get to our 3 dB dynamic range at the end of the setup. So compression on and add a 3. Roger?
Compression on and add a 3. Roger.
Okay, I have it at a 2 right now, so I'll bump it up.
Yes, sir. Bump that up to a 3. And then move to your ALC with mic gain in hand. And as you say the magic word audio, say it, but don't stress it. Just say it like you would say any word in a QSO. With mic gain, adjust your ALC to where it reads mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Where it reads mid-scale to 2/3. Roger.
Yep. Yeah. A little high there. Audio. How's that sound?
Look, about 2/3 there, mid-scale to 2/3, Roger?
2/3, sir. Mid-scale to 2/3, Roger.
Roger.
Alrighty, and now let's go to your EQ, transmit EQ. And are you using that the supplied hand mic, or are you running a desk mic?
The supplied hand mic, or are you running a desk mic?
I'm running a Heil headset, actually.
Okay. Why don't you tell me in 10 seconds about your antenna system, and let me listen to you where we are.
Your antenna system, and let me listen to you where we are.
All right, I'm running the ZX6BKW, actually. So, kind of a pieced together little situation here, but running about 600 watts, I think, going up to that. So that's the working conditions on this side. Go ahead.
Alrighty, I got over on my local antenna, and you're doing great. You're about 10 or 12 over on my local antenna. Your mic is really good on that headset. I'll tell you, the best thing, though, is to take that boom and run it out as far in front of you as you can get, and at the last minute, make that 90-degree turn. So I want you to get it as far away from your microphone out front, and then make that 90-degree turn. Roger?
Yeah, Roger. That's pretty much where I have it.
Alrighty, so now as you're looking at your ALC, I want you to tell me what you like best about your 7300, and if you have to make just slight corrections with your mic gain to keep that meter right at that mid-scale to 2/3 point. Roger?
Yeah, Roger that. I definitely like the radio a lot better than I had the 746 non-pro earlier, and I like that radio as well. Actually, it's still sitting here looking at me. It's a little deprived. It's sitting here in the dark, so one of these days I'll have to get it back on the air there. Go ahead.
All right, you got a good recording. Sounds really good like it is, sir. I think you're just perfect there. But I want you to leave your ALC meter out for a couple of weeks. And I want you to, you got to have something to do as you're passing the time in the QSOs. So I just want you to keep referring back to your ALC as you speak. And we're talking about in 2 weeks, you'll be able to control precisely where that ALC meter is with just your voice alone. Roger?
Yeah, Roger that. Usually it don't peak over, it did hit red right there, so it's a little hot, I guess, but for the most part, seems to be working fairly well.
Yeah, you look like a 3 dB, so you definitely want to keep it just at that mid-scale to 2/3 area. That's a nice, safe area, and with that area, you will be a 3 dB dynamic range, which means that your average percent of peak modulation is running between 80 and 85%. So it's a very fat signal. Roger?
Yeah, Roger on that. Hopefully it's still working out very well for me. Just had it probably about 6 months old or so, so I'm still kind of playing with this and that on it, but so far I like it in the radio.
Yes, sir, Nick. Now, I might suggest that you might run a double windscreen, a double full windscreen on that mic, because I still am hearing some plosives there. So if you get a chance, maybe get you a second windscreen and just slip it over the one that's there. So you're running two phone windscreens, Roger?
Yeah, roger that. Actually, the one had kind of deteriorated, so it has none on it right now. I've been going to order a new one and just haven't got it done yet.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You need to do that because you do pick up a lot of, not a lot of mouth noise, but some mouth noise. And what we're looking for is pristine signals. So if you get a chance, you get that windscreen on there, Roger.
Yeah, roger that. I'll definitely be getting on that.
Roger, Nick. Well, let me say 73, and also this recording will be up on YouTube shortly. If you do a call it a search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook, it will take you to this Qso recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 2200, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So YouTube search for KC9VKV logbook. Roger?
Yeah, roger that. I'll definitely be looking at there, Jim. I appreciate it. We'll say 73, and we'll look for you down the log. KC9VKV, KC0ZXZ.
Roger, Nick, 73, sir. Have a great afternoon and a beautiful weekend. And we are recording now, live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.
Yeah, I'll take a shot. Give me a shout.
Alrighty, I have a couple of stations back in there. The loudest one, take it away. I hear you, but I'm not being able to understand you, so you will be an interesting case. Come back slowly, phonetically. Move up on that microphone and give me your call sign slowly, phonetically. Roger? Station calling. This is KC9VKV. Come back with your call sign slowly, phonetically.
Kilowatt 9, Tango Foxtrot. Kilowatt 9, Tango Foxtrot.
Kilowatt 9, Tango Foxtrot. Is that a Roger?
Roger.
Alrighty, Tango Foxtrot. What's the name there?
Name is Jim Julian. You might get
All right, gosh, I'm on my local antenna. What I want you to do there, Tango Foxtrot, is give me about 10 seconds and tell me about your antenna system. Let me look around and see if I can find a better path for us, Roger.
Roger. I could switch your path. Roger.
All righty, I've got you just barely on my local antenna, so let me just pass this along. It's about your transmit bandpass. If you're familiar with that, we want you in the 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass. If you're familiar with it and you are there, that's great. If not, just make a note that you want to be sure and get in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandpass. So let me come back and see if I can get your name. What's the name there?
Roger. I switched antennas. Maybe this one will work a little better. I've got a it's running north and south on the ends. My bandpass is not, it's fixed. I'm running an Electronic K4D, and it's not, it's fixed, so it's 2.8 bandwidth. But I do have an EQ.
Roger, but what's the name? Give me your name there, sir.
I'm sorry, my name is Jim, Juliet India Mike, Jim.
Roger, Jim, and where are you located, sir?
I'm located near Milwaukee. Are you hearing any better with this antenna?
I'll tell you what, why don't you give me a 10 count, and at 5, can you switch fairly quickly, and you can give me a 10 count, and at 5, switch from one antenna to the other?
Roger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, I think that probably the first, there wasn't a lot of difference between them, but I think the first one might have been a little bit hotter. Normally the way you do that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, switch 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Therefore there is no confusion, but I'm assuming that the second 1 to 5 count was the second antenna, Roger? Okay, so I think you need to be on the first antenna, the first 1 through 5 antenna, Roger? Okay, so our signal is falling off quite a bit now, Jim. I'm not real sure what we're doing here. If you can, do you still have a good copy on me?
Yes, sir. You're about 3 to 6 dB over my noise level, and my name is Jim.
Yes, sir, Jim. All right, so let's move along with this setup where we still have some conditions. Compression on at a 3. That's the first part of our setup. Compressor on at a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, depending on how your compression is marked. We only want a third of it, 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. So Jim, I'm not sure if I copied you. Did you say that your total is your input to the compressor is 0 to 30? Is that a Roger?
To the compressor is 0 to 30. Is that a Roger? Roger. Right now it's at a 10.
All right. So all you need is a 10. Yes, a 10. Is that a Roger?
All you need is a 10. Yes, a 10. Is that a Roger?
Yes, sir. Okay, now move to your ALC with the mic gain in hand, and as you say the magic word audio, I want you to set your mic gain until your ALC meter is moving mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 on your ALC meter by way of mic gain control.
Thirds on your ALC meter by way of mic gain control.
All right, Jim, I'm assuming now that you've got your ALC meter moving between mid-scale and 2/3. I want you to go to your EQ page and crank in 2 clicks boost treble EQ. 2 clicks additional boost on your treble EQ from where you are, Roger?
Boost on your treble EQ from where you are, Roger?
So I'm not sure if you've done that or not, but 2 clicks additional boost from where you were, Roger.
2 clicks additional boost from where you were, Roger.
And that's a treble EQ boost.
And that's a treble EQ boost.
All right, sir. I think that's got it. Why don't you give me the radio that you're running? Let me know what radio you're running.
Radio that you're running? Let me know what radio you're running. I think I'm running now.
Come up on mic and give me that radio one more time.
Come up on mic and give me that radio
Yeah, Jim, you're starting to get competition from somewhere. I don't know where it's coming from, but there's other signals on the frequency. We've been on for over an hour and 25 minutes, and so I don't know where they're coming from. But anyway, I still didn't copy the radio that you're running. Come up on mic and give it to me one more time, Roger.
K4D running about 80 watts.
A King 4 Dog, is that Roger? King 4 Dog?
The King 4 Dog, is that Roger? King 4 Dog? Roger, Elecraft, K4 Dog.
Roger, Jim, and you're in Wisconsin, Roger.
Roger, Jim, and you're in Wisconsin, Roger. Yeah, Roger, Milwaukee.
Alrighty, well, you come up there a little bit. I'm on the Milford antenna again, and you're about 3 dB over their noise level, so I got a little bit better copy on you. If you want to try to hear what your radio sounds like, if you're good in Braille, I wish you to go to YouTube, do a call-in or search for KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That's Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook. That will take you to this recording. This will be a cut number 1 in a series of 2,200 Qso-Vlog recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow.
Qso-Vlog recordings, and I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. Adjust 100, 200, 400, 800, 1200, 1600, 2400, 3200 hertz adjustment.
All right. If you still copy me, I want everything from 400 cycles to 1.4 kc flat. Everything from 400 cycles to 1.4 kc should be flat, plus or minus 0. Then the next two will be plus 3 clicks. Additional EQ on the 2 EQs above where we were talking about. I think that was, well, I'm not sure what the frequencies are, but your top treble EQs should be plus 3 on each one of the first two.
Treble EQs should be plus 3 on each one of the first two. Roger, I'm trying to get this one down here.
Roger. Now, I can't really, don't have a really good signal on you, but I want you to look at your can you see your RF output meter?
Can you see your RF output meter?
All right, I'm just curious. I can't really hear you clear enough to see what that compressor is doing. At a 3, it should be you should be not even able to notice it. But just to be sure, why don't you key your transmitter for about 3 seconds and see what happens if your RF meter comes up. That will indicate how much that compressor is expanding, if you follow what I mean. So just dead key for about 3 or 4 seconds and take a look and see how much audio comes up on your RF output meter. Roger?
How much audio comes up on your RF output meter, Roger? Roger. Let's see here. Yeah, okay.
So, Jim, what do you think there? What did you see?
Jim, what do you think there? What did you see?
All right, Jim, the thing is, if you talk, you force it back down. So the only way you can truly evaluate it is to key it, but don't say anything. Just let it go where it's going to go, Roger. But like I say, if you talk when you're doing it, it disturbs and it doesn't give you a good reading. So just key for 3 without saying anything.
It doesn't give you a good reading. So just key for 3 without saying anything.
All right, if that was you, sir, if that was you, go ahead and turn that compressor off. Take the compressor out of the circuit, Roger, Roger.
Compressor off. Take the compressor out of the circuit, Roger, Roger.
Yeah, because, Jim, I really saw it jump up. I'm not real sure that was you, but I'm not to take any chances. So just take that compressor out of the circuit. It was not going to make too much difference anyway, because we just had it in there at a 3, so you'd be just as well with it or without it. And I don't want to take a chance on it being, coming up to that much compression expansion. So just leave it off, Roger, Roger.
Expansion. So just leave it off, Roger, Roger. Thank you very much for your help.
Yes, sir, Jim. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And again, if you're good at Braille, you want to hear your audio or try to hear it. If you go to YouTube, do a call it a search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. That will bring up this recording, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. So 73, Jim. And we'll catch you later. Have a great afternoon, beautiful weekend. And I see now by the clock on the wall, ooh, there's a dead fly. Ooh, we got to get out of here. We've enjoyed it. Hope you have. And if so, you want to hear your audio, again, go to YouTube, do that call letter search, KC9VKV, followed by the word logbook. We'll take you to this recording. I'll have it uploaded by noon tomorrow. So now we got to get out of here and return this frequency back to normal amateur radio use. This is KC9VKV, clear.